Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this FPL video we're going to have a look at some of the transfers that have happened so far this week. In preparation for game week 4, we're going to have a look at my transfer plans and some of the players on the watch list. So if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. Right then, let's have a look at some of the major movements that have been happening this week in the transfer market. Rodrigo has been brought in by over 750,000 FPL managers. That's nearly 10% of all managers have brought him in already. And you can see why. His fixtures look really good. 6.3 is a decent price for him. 4 goals, 1 assist. His XGI is fantastic at 1.34. So to put that into perspective, Salah's nowhere near that. So Bruyne's just over 1, which is really good. The best performing player last year was Salah, and he got just over 1. So the fact that he's expecting goal involvement 1.34 is incredible. He's pretty much up with where he should be. 4 goals so far. Fixtures look nice. We'll talk about him later on, but yeah, I can definitely see why Rodrigo's been brought in. Just to top it off, could be on penalties as well. Now Bamford's not about. Can definitely see why he's been brought in by so many managers so far this season. Next up then, let's have a look at Perisic again. One that we've been really anticipating and looking forward to seeing him take part this season. He finally started the first game against Wolves. Next fixtures look great as well. Away at Forest. Then you have West Ham, who are not particularly important at the moment. Fulham at home. 2 assists in just over 1 game. So his XGI is again really good. 1. Remember, he's playing as a fullback, so that's really impressive. And you compare that likes of Trent, Zinchenko, Cancelo, he's just off the scale. Nearly 750,000 managers have brought him in. A lot of people hold him already. 5.5. He was always promised much, and he's delivered so far in the last 1.5 games. No reason to think why he wouldn't in the next few games. He's got to be He's got to be on most people's watch list. He looks exciting. Again, we'll cover later on. Next up, who else are people being bringing in then? Kieran Trippier, nearly 350,000 managers have brought him in. He's got away at Wolves, away at Liverpool. So it's a couple of tough games, you'd have to say. Off the back of that free kick against Man City, a lot of people bringing him in. 5.1. Wouldn't say he's the cheapest either. His XGI, not particularly great, 0.1. Way behind that of Trent. Cancelo, round about the same. Not as much as Zinchenko. I can see why people were bringing him. Newcastle looked like a decent side. Yes, they've kept a couple of clean sheets as well. So they do look decent at the back. Some of those fixtures away at Wolves, yeah, you could definitely see him keeping a clean sheet there. In terms of his attacking threat, though, it is a worry. 0.1, take that free kick out, and he doesn't seem to offer a lot. But maybe with the opposition being slightly weaker than what he's been playing, possibly we'll see that up. But yeah, I can see why people are bringing him in. I'm not convinced he's going to be on my watch list just yet. But you know what? Great from set pieces. Could be a good player to bring in. Finally, let's have a look at them. Trent is also been transferred out by nearly 250,000. And yes, you can see why. Liverpool just been really disappointing. Another clean sheet lost again. So 3 games, no goals, no assists, nothing to return whatsoever from Trent. And he's the highest, most expensive defender in the game. I can absolutely see why people are getting a little bit exasperated, and there's other options to move on, especially when you look at the likes of Perisic for 2 million less. I would say his XGI still looks good. 0.39 is still really impressive, and you got at home to Bournemouth next. I'm not sure. As a Robertson owner, I'm almost tempted to move on to Trent as opposed to move him out. I do get he's expensive, but he still looks good. But yeah, I can understand why people are bringing him out. There just looks to be a few other options that possibly are better. Again, he's one on my radar though. I'm not discounted Trent. Next one, Saka's been shedded by a lot. People held on to him, I guess, last week and then just constantly making a move, the easy move over to Martinelli. His fixtures still look great. 2 home games coming up for Arsenal. You wouldn't want to back against him getting something, but Martinelli just outperformed him. His XGI is not great. He's got 1 assist. Yeah, I can completely understand. I made the move last week, didn't get bitten by it. He's on pens. You just feel that I still think over the course of the season he could possibly do more than Martinelli. But again, for the money, possibly using that money elsewhere, I definitely see why people are getting rid of Saka. Last on the list then, we're going to go for Heung-min Son. He's gone down in price. Again, Pete, managers getting frustrated with him. And I think the fact that De Bruyne is just a slightly bit more higher in his price point, but very easy to get to, maybe that's persuading people, because De Bruyne's just obviously just hitting those heights, whereas Son's only got 1 assist so far. Not being massively impressive considering he won the Golden Boot with Salah last year. 190,000 managers shipping him out. I think away at Forest, West Ham and Fulham at home, it'd be tough. I think for a transfer, unless I had the major surgery to move, possibly be looking to move on. I wouldn't be desperate though. I still think Forest away, West Ham and Fulham are decent fixtures. That show is not terrible. I think it's because of the alternative options elsewhere that, yeah, I can see why people are getting jumpy and moving them off. So this is the state of play of my side currently at the moment, and we'll go through my transfer plans in a minute. I've got 1.7 million in the bank, 2 transfers, so I definitely have to use one of my transfers. And I haven't looked at the fixtures lined up. It feels pretty straightforward. Who would I'd need to bench? Who would not make it? So Andreas, Williams and Greenwood would sit onto my bench. Greenwood not getting much of game time, but Williams and Andreas would definitely play, so I've always got some security. I'd go 4-4-2. Ward away at Chelsea is not going to get into my side. I'd have Ramsdale, Robertson. I'd keep him at the moment. I know he's going down in price, but I think at home to Bournemouth, crazy decision, I think, to really get rid of him at this moment. I could look at other options, so I'm not ruling it out. Captaincy, I haven't really thought about too much, but Salah just looks like an obvious choice for me at the moment. But this is the side as it is. I don't feel there's any huge need to make some transfers. Wouldn't say I'm 100% happy, but there's 1 or 2 slots I'm not particularly keen on. Dalot, I mean, before the game on Monday night, I'd have absolutely said he's got to go. Now, away at Southampton, I'm not so sure. But I'm going to have to use one of my transfers, or I'm going to lose one, and I'm going to go through the choices that I've got available and the players I'm looking at next. Let's have a look at the first player on my watch list. We looked at him earlier on. It is Rodrigo, 6.3, really cheap, good option in midfield. We looked at, he got 4 goals, 1 assist, only played 3 games, already 5 goal returns. XGI is amazing off the scale. It's just no way he can keep that up throughout the rest of the season. If he did, he'd be breaking all sorts of records, possibly on penalties as well. That even just sort of cherry on top. Fixtures look good. For me, the only reason why I think he's definitely one got to be on the watch list, the only reason why I'm not going to think of bringing him in this week is that Brighton fixture away. Everton, Brentford, Forest look like great fixtures, and I'm definitely considering bringing them in for game week 5. But Brighton away, just a little bit unsure. Brighton have been really impressive, especially defensively so far this season. Conceding 1 at Old Trafford, then they just kept a clean sheet against Newcastle, then away at West Ham. Their expected goals against 2.37. They've only actually conceded the 1. Second best in the Premiership in terms of expected goals conceded. For me, that's enough to put me off at home to Leeds. I can't see Rodrigo doing a great deal. He absolutely could get something. I think for me, I've got more important issues elsewhere on the side, which I'll go through later on. He's definitely one I think I would like to bring in for the Everton game. But right now, that Brighton game is enough to put me off. The next one that would be on my watch list, again, we looked at him, and everyone's going to look at him if you haven't got him already, is Perisic. He's got a great fixtures, 2 assists in just over 1 game. So again, his XGI is absolutely great. I think he's a really good option at 5.5. So attacking. We've seen it in Serie A. Outperforming a lot of players that are costing much more than he is at 5.5. The one thing that will just constantly, I've been waiting for since the start of the season, is Doherty. He's gone down in price twice now for 4.8, so it tells me a lot of people did own him and getting impatient about the fact that he's not been starting. Now Perisic looks like an absolute nailed starter. Doherty, we just have not heard anything about. He's on the bench constantly, not getting minutes. Doesn't look like he's getting any closer to ousting Emerson Royale from that right back spot. So, unless I get other words, I think Perisic is definitely an option, especially for the next few weeks. Otherwise, Doherty always wins it for me. Great XGI last year, cheaper option. But yeah, Perisic is one I think I can't ignore. He's got to be considered bringing into the side. On top of that, I think Kevin De Bruyne nailed it in that Man City defence. He has been brilliant so far this season. 1 goal, always looks threatening. 3 assists, great XGI. Palace and Forest, Villa, Wolves, fixtures look brilliant for City. We know they can score against anyone in any case. 12.1, yes, he's expensive. I'm not going to even think about moving off Salah to get to him. If I can find another way of getting to him, and I think I might be able to, he's got to be one. I don't want to go into those next 2 home games for Man City without him being a part of my side. That does scare me quite a bit. Cucurella, with the likes of Reece James now seemingly playing a more deeper role as in a centre back on the right hand side, that's really limited his attacking returns. The fact that Koulibaly's now suspended, does that mean Reece James just plays more along in that back three? In which case, Cucurella just becomes a cheaper and better option. I think his XGI is decent, 0.33. He's got 1 assist. Fixtures look okay, 5.1. I think he's pretty much nailed. I don't think he's nailed to play that left wing back every game because Chilwell come in. But even when he's not, I think he can play in that back three, which Tuchel has said he could do. So for me, Cucurella is definitely an option. He enables me to go elsewhere if I downgrade James. And I'll look at those options in a minute. I'm not keen on it, but if Reece James continues to play centre-back, I think it's a sensible move and it frees money to do that. Next up then is a bit of one out there, just a real enabler. He's one absolutely we'll look at for 4 million, Emerson Palmieri. He's in a Chelsea shirt, but imminently going to sign for West Ham, we're told. If that's the case, West Ham's fixtures, I'm not saying look absolutely fantastic, and they're not playing particularly well at the moment or in form. Villa away, Tottenham, Chelsea, Fulham. But for 4 million, what a great enabler he could be. I don't think for a minute he's gone to West Ham in a World Cup year as an Italian international to sit on the bench. So I think he's more likely to get game time. If he does, 4 million could be a really good price for him. When he was on loan last year at Lyon, he got 1 goal, 2 assists, 0.2. Nothing special. But remember, you're paying 4 million for Emerson. So he was one. It's definitely going to be on watch list. If it comes down to I can improve myself at my side elsewhere drastically by bringing Emerson in at 4 million, I think he could possibly be the pick of them, especially when I've already got Nico Williams. So he's one I'm on the watch list. I'm not saying I'm bringing him in straight away, but he's definitely for 4 million a really interesting enabler. Having bared all of those players on my watch list in mind, how do I start to integrate them into my side? The one thing I would say is some of the players that I could look at moving on. Sterling, he's not been brilliant so far. His XGI looks decent. His fixtures look quite good. He's got 1 assist, that's all, and he's costing me 10 million. At home to Leicester, I don't feel it's a time I want to move him on. I still have some faith in Sterling. I don't particularly want to move him out of my side. The other one I've got, we talked about already, is Reece James. Now, if he's playing centre-back, it just completely kills his productivity and his attacking intent. So it would make absolute sense for me to bring in Cucurella. That would raise quite a bit of money. I already had 1.7. I've got now 2.7. Cucurella at 5.1. He could come in. I still think the fixtures are good. Clean sheets. I think he's got possibly more attacking potential than Reece James if he's playing that left wing back. So that's the first move that I could make. That would free quite a bit of money for me to be able to do something elsewhere. The next thing I could look at is I could look at Robertson. He's already gone down price and people are getting rid of him, as they are Trent. It seems he's not been impressive so far. Let's not mess around with that. He has just been disappointing. So have Liverpool. No clean sheets, no returns. One of the most expensive defenders in the game. Can't say it's a mistake to have him in, but he's not done as well as we'd expect. However, those fixtures look really good. I don't feel like I really want to get rid of him when they're playing Bournemouth at home next. It feels like there's a clean sheet there, hopefully. Newcastle then at home as well. I'm going to keep Robertson for now. He's not one I'm going to get rid of. I could easily move him down to Perisic. I don't feel I want to do that just yet. I'm going to keep him with those fixtures and give him more time. Trent could be someone I go up to. Trent just seems to be having far more involvement and his XGI is still good. Compared to Robertson, Trent is just getting forward more threat, involved more. Absolutely, for 0.6, I'd happily pay more to have him in. But I feel like there's probably bigger issues in this side, so Robertson would stay. The other one that I'm keen, or was always keen to get rid of, was Dalot. Until the Liverpool performance, still didn't keep a clean sheet, but they were just 100 times more impressive than they were against Brentford. Not that was difficult. Away at Southampton is a game I could possibly keep. And then away at Leicester, Arsenal, the fixtures don't look great. I'm still not 100% convinced that one swallow doesn't make a summer for Man United. So I could move off Dalot. The choices are then, in comes Perisic. So that would give me still a little bit of money in the bank. That would be 2 moves. And I think that would be a decent move. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Give me a lot less money to play for. However, that does block another move which I could make. The move I could make then is if I kept Dalot in, I would have the money to play Sterling to De Bruyne. And De Bruyne's fixtures look fantastic, so I could go for that move. But if I brought Perisic in, that blocks me. I wouldn't have enough money to go from Sterling to De Bruyne. So Cucurella, yes. Perisic, possibly. Or De Bruyne to Sterling. Do I want to move off Sterling? Crystal Palace at home. I think Crystal Palace aren't on a bad side at all. So possibly I could wait for a week and then move to De Bruyne after that. Still give Sterling 1 more week. It's a risk. That's what I've got to decide between now and the end of the week. And I'll be waiting for those press conferences, injury news, everything until the last possible minute before making these decisions. They won't be influenced by the prices at the moment. I'm happy to let them rise or fall. I think making a better decision in the time is more important. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know what your transfer plans are for game week 4. Who are you going to bring in? What plans have you made? Don't forget to make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. In the meantime, we'll be back out with you later on for a team selection video. In the meantime, take care. Good luck.